Two. Recording in progress. Anything you say from this point forward can and will be used against you in the court of broke real estate agents. So, cool. Let me share my screen with you, and we'll get started talking about something. Oh, did you guys see this? So I'm guessing you probably saw this email came out from Rain this morning. Active listings, again, year over year, February to February, down 25%. Inventory is a huge challenge. Pending sales also down, which I thought was a surprise. Settled sales down 1%. New construction sales are up 2.5%, which is kind of cool, considering last month they were down, which was really surprising to me, because we see new construction everywhere we look. And then, of course, our median sale price is up 7.9% versus February last year. So median sale price now is $291,250. I would encourage you guys to download and read the actual written press release, because it breaks each one of these down into words that you can explain to your peeps when they're asking you about it. So, all right, cool. Let's jump right into everybody's favorite, LP Mama. So LP Mama is an acronym: location, price, motivation, agent, mortgage, appointment. Bam, I nailed it. Yeah.
Yay.
So these are the 6 critical questions that we want to ask when speaking to a potential new client. More specifically, the buyer client. That's what it's designed for. The first time I ever saw this script personally, I was working buyer leads through, I was buying buyer leads from Zillow. And so this is the script that they trained all of their premier agents on. And I found it to be incredibly useful, because unfortunately, all too many times agents will pull up a property address when someone asks about it, and they'll end the conversation with, "I'm sorry, it's under contract already." And now that you've given the potential buyer the information they thought they were looking for, they're done with your conversation. They're ready to jump off the phone and call the next agent. And so our job, obviously, is to try to nurture or build or create a relationship where one does not exist yet. And so I feel like these 6 questions can really, really, really help you do that. And I wanted to do something a little, hey, Randall, better late than never, brother. Thank you for being here. So nothing like calling you out, putting you on the spot. Okay. So I wanted to do something a little bit different today. And I wanted to, because when I was reading this script, believe it or not, I still read it. And so I was reading it this morning. And as I was reading it, new thoughts were coming to me that, might make a difference in your dialogue and in your life. So location. Prior to your call, you already had the address of the property that they're interested in, but is that the only one, right? And so the idea is to investigate, So if you're calling on 15079 Sundew Drive in Carrollton, is this the only property you're interested in? Or would you be open to looking at other homes in other neighborhoods, in other cities, right? And so you're pulling for more information. You're asking questions. You're trying to lead them down a path to ultimately meet with you. Price range. Price range is very important, and this is going to help a realtor to narrow down the search among thousands of properties that are in the MLS. So obviously this property was listed at 375. So if you were speaking with a potential client, you might say, now this property is listed at 375,000. Would you say that's near the bottom or the top of your budget? Again, you're trying to feel them out and figure out what they have in mind. And some of these are questions that, they may not have thought about before. They may have just seen some really pretty pictures online and decided to call about it. Motivation. Obviously, this is hugely important, because if you have an unmotivated client, you're going to waste a lot of friggin' time. And so motivation is really, really important that you try to narrow that down as quickly as possible. So gauging the lead's intent and moving is also done by knowing their motivation. So if you have somebody whose lease is up in 3 months, then they're motivated. They have a reason to move. But if you have someone who's not so motivated, maybe their lease doesn't expire for another year and they don't have to move, or maybe they're just thinking, or maybe they're just looking, and in fact they are just looking, then you want to be cautious about your time. You want to protect your time. It's the most valuable thing we have, obviously. We don't want to waste a lot of it with people who are not serious, because they will run you ragged because they suspect or expect. I think a lot of the public thinks that we get paid a salary or get paid by the hour or something. Hey, Evelyn, nothing like being late.
I would like to say I risk life and look again.
Oh, well, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
I raced my dream prior.
So, very cool. So motivation, very, very critical ingredient to gauging whether or not you have a real client or someone who's just looking. So, and then of course, agent, this is one of the most important questions that we need to ask, because we need to know, are they working with somebody else? Am I the 15th real estate agent that they've connected with in the last 15 minutes, right? We want to know if they have a commitment with another real estate agent. It's really, really important, because if they do have that relationship, we have to help them either end that relationship or inform them that they really should be talking to the agent of choice, their agent of choice, the person they've committed to working with. Because some people, and I don't know if you've noticed this, but some people will think, well, I'm not going to bother my agent with this. I'll call and get the information myself. And that just pisses you off, right? It's like, don't call me, ask your agent. They're the ones that are going to make thousands of dollars off of you, not me. But the people, the public, don't understand that. The public really do believe that we make, $10 an hour, and we're going to get paid regardless. And so they don't understand. And so we have to educate them in the most polite and professional way possible. Right.
I just had a lead the other day who called me because her agent was busy. So she just wanted me to show her a house. She was going to let her agent know if it was worked out or not.
Isn't that awful? Yeah.
And you said,
I said, you really need to talk to your agent. I'm sure she wants to know, what you're thinking and what you're doing.
Exactly.
But thank you for calling.
Have a nice day. Oh, yeah, that's funny. It's sad, but funny. So we have to educate the public. They don't know any better. Mortgage, obviously, we need to know, are they qualified or not qualified? And it occurred to me when I was reading this earlier that some people, well, let me read this. One of the key factors during a home search is how are they planning to purchase the property? Will they be buying it through cash or financing? And I think that was something that I had talked about some time ago when I was actually using this script every day was, do you want to necessarily assume that people have to get a mortgage? Not everybody has to get a mortgage. And so the idea, the way the script was evolved was, will you be paying cash for this home, or have you spoken with a lender yet? Because that way we don't prejudge them or their financial ability. Because some people, especially egotistical people, might take offense at that, right? Why should you assume that I have to get a mortgage? So you might want to think about including that in your sentence. Will you be paying cash for this home, or have you spoken with a lender yet about getting financed? I think that good thing to keep in mind. If they have not spoken with a lender yet, obviously we want to get them to a lender as quickly as possible, because again, we don't want to spend a lot of time with somebody who's not qualified to buy a house. As much as we love them, we care about them, we don't want to spend a lot of time with them. Unless it's, on the weekends and it's a party and they brought food, then it's okay. And the goal of these 5 questions is to get an appointment, right? It says, remember that setting up an appointment should be done assertively, as you need to make them feel like you are guiding them in the process. And I love the words, the next step is, or, well, here's the next step, right? So once we've gone through this phone dialogue, usually it's over the phone, it could be in person. But once you've gone through this process and you've got 2, 3, 4, or 5 of these questions out of the way, you say to them, the next step is for us to meet and develop a strategy that will help you to buy a home. You know, especially in this super competitive market, the next step is really for us to get together and develop a strategy to help you buy a home. Right? I love the word strategy, especially in this stupid market. You know, it's so competitive. So strategy is a good key word. Obviously, help is a super important word. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. So the next step is for us to develop a strategy so that we can help you buy a home or help you get a home, something like that.
Should you take notes?
Yeah, you know, I mean, whether you do or don't on the phone, I think obviously they're not going to know, but certainly when you meet with someone in person, you should be taking notes. Even if you're just scribbling in your pad, you should give them the impression that you're taking notes and you're writing down those keywords that are important in the conversation. Not only for you to refer back to, but also to make them feel like you're listening to them and what they say is important to you and you're making notes. Yeah, I love that idea. Yeah.
And then when you get to the appointment, then you go back to LP Mama again, and depending on the person, they could, well, you must not have been listening to me. Didn't I answer all these?
It's true. It's true. Yeah. Because if you start asking them the same questions over again, they've already answered it. They might feel a little disconnected from you. So I love the idea of writing something down, especially when they can see you doing it, because it means something to them. And so just a real quick walkthrough. So Randall, you want to do this with me?
Sure.
All right, cool.
I'm a little more excited there, sir.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, so I'm gonna call on 15709 Sundew, right? All right, so you're gonna answer the phone, you're the agent, and we're gonna say, ring, ring.
London Foster, this is Randall.
Yeah, hey, Randall, my name is Jason. I'm calling about this property on Sundew Drive in Carrollton. Can you tell me about it?
Sure. Do you happen to know how much this property is listed for?
I saw on Zillow it was $375.
Okay, awesome. What about this neighborhood? Is that a neighborhood that you would like to, you know, are you stuck on that neighborhood, that area, or are you open to other homes?
So we've driven through that neighborhood. It's really nice, and we're definitely good with that. But you know, honestly, we want to get into Isle of Wight. So anywhere in the county, I think would be okay because the schools are pretty good.
It's good to know. And what about the price of the home? Are you comfortable with that price range? Is that the bottom of your budget, or higher?
So I'm pretty sure 375 is good for us right now. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be about $2,000 a month. I think we can handle that.
Okay, that sounds good. Are you under a lease right now, or are you selling your home, or what's your purpose for wanting to move?
Yeah, so our lease is coming up in a couple of months.
Okay, so a couple of months.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit of time.
Yeah.
Awesome. And have you talked to other agents, or is this the first agent that you've actually talked to?
No, yeah, I've called and talked to a couple of people, but we haven't really started working with anybody, if that's what you mean.
Okay, well, I'm glad you called me. So this house is listed at 375. What is your plan for payment of the house? Will this be a cash purchase, or will you be a mortgage on it?
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to have a mortgage. I wish I could pay cash for it.
Me too. Okay, well, I could put you in touch with my lender. And so the next step for us would be to get together so we can make a strategy, so I can help you get this home.
Excellent. All right. So what's your schedule look like?
I am free all day.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. I love how you inserted those keywords too. So yeah. So something is sticking in there. Something's sticking in there. That's excellent. Excellent. So that's the idea, you guys, to put together a dialogue so that you're not letting somebody off the hook without asking for the appointment. If you don't ask for the appointment, you're not going to get the appointment. We need to ask for the appointment more often, I think, in the beginning of the process. So even if hypothetically this home were off the market, which we didn't even cover, right? This home obviously is under contract. you still want to ask for the appointment so that you can develop a strategy to help them buy maybe the next house that we find. So always, always, always ask for the appointment so that you can begin to build that relationship. Cool. All right, let me change gears here. Let's get out of here. LP Mama. Everybody's favorite mama. All right, page 40. Yeah. So you guys are familiar with this book, hopefully. So this is the referral ministry book. It looks like this. I've ordered several copies so that we'll have them here. You guys can check them out. In the meantime, though, everybody should have a copy of the PDF version. I don't know if I sent you one yet or not. I don't know if it was in that email.
It might, I'll look to it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you will at least have a PDF version of this book in the meantime. And that's obviously what we use on Zoom. So we're going to go to page 40 in the PDF version, and we're going to talk about the word help and its impact on your conversation. Back up. Scripts, dialogues, and debates. We have another, at some point, we'll probably have to switch material. And there's a Tom Ferry script book up there. I don't know if you guys have checked it out. We'll talk about that at some point. Okay, so page 40, amplifier number 2. Instead of using the word service, use the word help. And I think this is really, really important. I always try to say help when I can, because it's a secret word. It's a cool little word, and it implies something. So you may or may not know that service is a wimpy word. It's ambiguous. It doesn't say anything. You'd have to define the word service, but you don't have to define the word help, right? So help, on the other hand, indicates someone is in trouble and they need you. Every time you're about to say the word service, stop and think about how you could say the same thing using the word help. One of the most famous TV commercials of all time was an ad that first appeared in Time magazine 50 years ago. So a lot of us don't know anything about this. In it, a woman on the ground reaching for a first alert button saying, "Help, I've fallen and I can't get up." That phrase has become common in our usage today in many contexts because help gets our attention. So here's an example. Remember, we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, my purpose, right? My purpose is for you to be so outrageously happy with the help I give you that you would gladly introduce me to 2 people that you really care about before I even sell or help you buy a home or close your loan. So the book is written obviously for real estate agents and loan officers. And so some places you're going to replace the word loan with buy or sell. So what do you get when you type the word help into Google? The results that come up most often at the top of the search results is the Beatles song, "Help, I need somebody, help." You know that one? Yeah. There are only about 75 words in the entire song, but it uses the word help 17 times. It's a very powerful song. I encourage you to listen to it and even have it playing in the car while you're working with buyers. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. That's slick. Here's the thing about that song. It's hypnotic. In fact, if you listen to almost all of the Beatles songs, they use invisible words or trans language like, "I want to hold your hand. I want to hold your hand." This kind of hypnotic language forces you to have to create a picture of whose hand you're holding. Randall. Think about the phrase "help you sell" versus "assist to sell." Assist to sell means I'll be there with you. That's okay, but help means you're in trouble and I'm going to help you get out of trouble. It's very powerful when you see what that one little word can do. So when you're asking for help, just know that underneath there's a lot of emotion packed into that word help, as opposed to the word service, which doesn't have any of that meaning. If you look up the word service, you discover it's a monastic word, meaning unconditional devotion to God. The word has no teeth to it when you want people to notice you, think of you, and then ultimately introduce you. So there's got to be more emotion than using the word service. When you start using the word help, you're talking about an experience people are having. When you're talking about service, you're saying, what do you charge for that? Right? And I think we've talked about that before. What do you charge for your service versus I want to help you? People are maybe less inclined to say, well, how much do you charge for your help? They may be, I could see some people saying it then. Yeah, I've talked to people who would definitely say, well, how much is your help? But I think there's a lot of truth in the inclination to ask what's your price is more prevalent when you say service. Yeah. So people don't say, what do you charge for your help? That's what I just said. Dang. Okay. So here's why asking for help is so critical to the success of your business. Think about the consequences of not asking for help in your business. If you don't ask for help, you have to chase business. So how many of you would rather stand in a cold shower and rip up $10 bills than make cold calls? And all the hands go up. No, not you. You don't know yet how terrible it is to make cold calls. So by not reaching out and asking for help from people you know, you have to pursue people rather than getting help. That's a good point. All right. Remember, asking for help when you need it or when you want it, it is part of being responsible to yourself. Not asking for help is actually making yourself a victim because you're now waiting for people to reach out and offer to help you first. When you ask for help, you take responsibility. When you don't ask for help, you become a victim. I like that, actually. And when I first read that, I had a lot of different thoughts go through my mind. I mean, you could apply that to just about anything in life, whether it's being a real estate agent or anything else in life that you want to do. If you're not willing to ask for help, then you're willing to settle for being a victim and having this excuse that, I couldn't do it. It was too hard. I didn't know enough. I didn't learn enough. I didn't know where to go. But I think nobody would help me. Yeah, well, if you ask, there's a lot of people that are willing to help, but you have to ask. That's me in a nutshell. You guys probably know. I don't hound you. I don't chase you. I don't call and check on you. But if you ask me for something, I will bend over backwards to get it to you. When you ask for help, you take responsibility. When you don't ask for help, you become a victim. Why do people respond to the word help? People feel upset when they see a person in need. They become motivated to do something to reduce the unpleasant feeling they're having when they're seeing someone who needs help. When there's a clear need that someone needs help, people are more likely to help. It's got to be a clear need, like help, I'm falling, I can't get up, or I've fallen. It's interesting that when there are large groups of people around and no one is naturally helping a person, it becomes even less likely that someone will step up to help. And we've seen that on the news, unfortunately. You might have heard now in New York City, they have muggings where large groups of people witness it and no one helps. There's a lot of good evidence that says as soon as one person starts to help, others will follow. But one person has to step up, has to step in and get it started. I know we've seen examples of that. More people are more inclined to grab their cell phones and record an incident, a mugging, or whatever it happens to be, than to actually get involved. But if one person gets involved, and we saw this most recently, I don't know if you saw the clip on the news in New York City where that guy punched a kid, and the mother immediately went after this guy and tackled this guy. And other people obviously came to her rescue to help her hold this guy down until the police arrived. So, but the initial reaction was to back away and to not get involved because this guy's obviously a psycho. But the boy's mom, she went, I'm getting that son of a gun. And then others came to the rescue, right? So yeah. The bottom line is this: people help when they see other people helping. So here's how you can use this in referral mastery. A friend of mine, John, helped one of his friends by introducing his good coworker to me. I was able to help him, and maybe I could help your friends the way I was able to help John's friend. If you could talk about how you've helped other people, it's easier for people to offer you to their friend, to help their friends. Does this make sense? This is happening at an unconscious level around the word help. Helpfulness is seen in those who have empathy for others. When you describe somebody with empathy, you say something like, the next time you're in a conversation with somebody who really needs some help, they're struggling to get their home sold, or they're upset and they're frustrated, they're aggravated, and they really don't know who to turn to for help. Now you're putting somebody into a role where they become empathetic and altruistic, and they want to help because they're called upon. Here's what you don't want to say. The next time you notice somebody who needs to reset their mortgage because their interest rate is too high, right? Obviously, you want to describe how that person might need help, not the fact that their mortgage interest rate is too high and they want to reset their mortgage. So can you see there isn't enough empathy in that statement? If you can give people the sense that they're helping someone who's almost a victim, you'll access their empathy. Hey, next time you're in a conversation with a person who wants to buy their first home, or you're a little concerned that they may get advice that may not be in their best interest, or they end up with a mortgage payment that's so much higher than what they could have gotten if they had the right advice, or end up paying tens of thousands of dollars more than what they should have, then may even lose their house because they didn't get the right advice. Would you think of me and call me immediately so I can give them the help they need? Obviously, that's a little wordy. We'd probably all have a problem without having that dialogue in front of us, but I think we get the point, right? We want to describe the problem so that we can generate empathy for the friend, and we want to ask for the referral. We want to say, would you think of me and call me so that I can give them the help they need? So help is the key word here. Hopefully you guys can see the difference between using the word help versus the word service. So again, this was page 40 of our books. And I think, what did it go to, like 45? So not too far, right?
Jason, just so you know, in the actual book,
Yeah.
it starts on page 33,
Interesting.
where you are in the actual book, just so you know.
Okay. All right. I wonder why they don't line up quite right. But good to know.
It's printed bigger so you can see it.
Good to know. Oh, that's true. Yeah, maybe the font is bigger. No, it's good. Any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns?
I need that one, but it's not. Those two songs. Help, I need someone, and I want to hold your hand.
Yeah.
If you were to do a video with those,
Yeah.
what's the legalities behind using that song?
I would say
Randall.
Facebook would probably ban it. Yeah. Anybody know? And would there going to be some sort of a copyright infringement?
I believe
Hmm.
There would, yeah.
in
Yeah.
certain aspects
Yeah.
like TikTok, where they already have the song playing in the background, that would be okay. But to play it yourself, you have to make sure that you state like numerous times that you don't have the rights to this music.
I have seen that.
And that doesn't keep Facebook or Instagram from removing it, but it lets them know that you don't have the rights, and everyone else know that you don't have the rights to those songs.
And then if you put it on YouTube, you can't make the money from it.
Yeah,
I have seen people put little disclaimers in there that
Yes,
I own the rights to this music or something along those lines. Yeah,
I've seen that as well.
Good advertising.
yeah. It'd be great advertising.
You know, you have
Yeah.
a song playing and advertise yourself because you want to hold their hand while they're going through the home selling or home buying process?
That's
Now,
right.
you can in TikTok see if that sound is already in there.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
TikTok has sounds
TikTok.
Okay.
that they've already created, or somebody has created and gotten the permission to use them. And you could play the song in the background with like your picture slideshow or whatever it is that your video you want to upload using that song.
Oh, so that's stuff like they understood the assignment and. Okay.
TikTok's where it's at.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go look after the meeting now.
What was that, Vanessa? What?
I said I'm gonna go look on TikTok now. That song is up there.
See if it's up there? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, definitely come back to us and let us know sometime. So I wanna hold your hand. I love it. Good stuff. All right, gang, we'll let you go. If that's it, that's it. So well, hopefully there was something helpful in today's scripts, dialogues, and debates.
That's great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, guys.